Everyone talks about Celtic's dominance in Scottish football. But what if Rangers didn't just challenge them? What if they shattered records in the process? We are aiming to take Rangers back to the top, but while doing so, we're looking to break 8 historic club records in just one single save. From unbeaten runs to goal-scoring challenges, we'll be pushing every boundary with clever recruitment, tactical tweaks, and of course a bit of that Ibrox magic. And by the end of it, you might just see the best rebuild in FM24 history while breaking all these incredible records. So let's get straight into it. Now, to kick things off, we need to of course talk about the records we are breaking today, and as you see, there is a lot on Football Manager and some that are simply impossible to break, like their record-breaking 120,000 attendance match against Celtic in 1939. So we have picked out 8 incredible club records. Number 1 is the most points in a single season, which Rangers achieved 102 in a 38-game season. Most wins in a season is 35 out of 38, which is mental. Fewest defeats, well, they've been unbeaten, so we're going to have to do an invincible season. Longest unbeaten run is 44 matches, so we're going to have to spread that over 2 seasons, and it doesn't just count Scottish football, it's also the Champions League, Europa League, or Conference League as well. So 44 games professionally unbeaten is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Number 5 is most goals in the season. They scored 118 goals in 38 games. The least goals in the season is 13. So the fun of this rebuild is going to be the fact we have to try and build 2 completely different systems. One where we're looking to go for lots of goals, and one where we're looking to become a defensive masterpiece. One where we're going to be looking to make overpowered tactics, and one, which is going to be my favourite one, is the one of trying to get a player to score the most goals in a single season. Now, 44 goals is the current record for Rangers in a single season, so that's over 1 goal a game, which is absolutely mental. That is held by Sam English in 1933, which is ridiculous. And the final one is the biggest win in Rangers history, which is 13-0 in 1877. So looking to try and break a 160-year record. If there's any teams you want me to try this with, let me know down in the comments down below. This is a challenge I think is going to be incredibly fun because of how different we have to make the tactic every time, how different the recruitment will have to be, and I think you guys are going to absolutely love it. So make sure you're smashing that like button and get your comments down below for the next team you want me to try and break these 8 incredible club records with. And I hope you understand by saying every record. These are 8 records which I have chosen. Records like youngest goal scorer, oldest goal scorer, I personally don't care about them. There's no way to really track the assists or clean sheets. I've been through looking at records online and stuff, and I can't really find too much information. So I've picked out 8 records that we can track and that we can have a hand in. Now, I have simulated to the end of this current season in real life, so we are effectively in 2025, even though the game says 2024, and Rangers have been absolutely smacked by Celtic once again, sadly. I would say I'm more of a Rangers fan than a Celtic fan if I had to choose out of the 2. And sadly, it's just not been great for them. The last title was 2021, of course, under Steven Gerrard, which I believe was their longest unbeaten run of the 44 games. And of course, they did get relegated down to the 3rd tier of Scotland not many years ago. Now, of course, it is pretty much a 2-horse race, Celtic or Rangers. It has been that way since 1985, which I believe is Fergie. I might be wrong there, but I think that was when Fergie won the UCL and stuff with Aberdeen, which was absolutely mental. But in terms of recent history, it is Rangers and Celtic all of the way. Now, the Rangers luckily do have some fantastic players, which are going to, of course, be utilised in this rebuild. Number 1 is Yanis Hadji. He is listed as the best player at the club. Romanian cam, of course, son of famous Romanian legend Georgi Hadji, and this guy is going to be pivotal in this rebuild. He's got a cam partner in Nadim Bajrami that looks great. Jose Cifuentes is out on loan. I will be using him. I don't know if there's any history as to why he's out on loan, but he looks great. In goal, super Jackie Butland. What an absolute legend we have here with Jackie B. And at right back, it's James Tavernier. So we have a goal-scoring machine in wing-back. Of course, though, our only issue is the fact that he is 32 years of age, and that is going to be a problem because he has got not many years left in him, especially we're looking at FM. Up front, we have Danilo, we have Nicholas Raskin. Jefte is a great young left-back, as is Ridvan Yilmaz. John Suter, Ben Davies, Rabbi Matondo's out on loan. In terms of some of the Scottish players, Liam King looks someone really good. Come through the Rangers Academy here, 58 games, 2 goals, for Rangers so far, and I think he's going to be a really good player, Scottish as well, so someone we are looking to definitely bring through in this save file. And the tactic we're using to kick things off, I have just loaded in a very generic 4-2-3-1. Of course, this rebuild is going to be as meta as I possibly can. We are looking to try and dominate the league and break records, so I can't be going in with any stupid fancy formations. We are going meta, and we're going to be doing the same when it comes to the defensive side of things as well. So that is something we're going to try and work out after we've probably done all the unbeaten runs, etc., because defensive football can be difficult on FM. And 13 goals conceded in the whole season is absolutely mental, which means we need to concede like 12 goals, which is a goal every 3 games. And of course, we're going to be facing up against Celtic and stuff. So if we lose one game 2-3-0, that's it written off. We need to have a ridiculous season to get to that stage, and we're going to have to really concentrate on improving this defence. Now, the good thing is here at Rangers, and with Celtic as well, is the club reputation is very high, so we are going to be able to bring in some really top-tier players. Training facilities are very strong, youth facilities as well, and youth recruitment, well, it's 5 stars, so we should hopefully see some Scottish wonderkids come through the academy as well. Now, when picking the starting team right now, it is looking a little bit like so. Igamane up front with Danilo, Bajrami and Hadji in cam, Raskin and Leon King in DM, Tavernier, Radvan Yilmaz, Ben Davies, Robin Proper and Jack Butland in goal. A very good team to start things off, but I'm going to go make some improvements. We're going to be getting straight into transfers here. We have a £13 million budget, decent money and wage budget, and the club is doing pretty well financially as well. So hopefully throughout this rebuild, we can spend lots of money and really go for these 8 incredible records. Now, we have made a couple of sales. Cyril Desses left the club, Jay Hogarth left the club, and Ravi Matondo has left the club, raising an extra £4.8 million. And £3.5 million of that was spent on our potential James Tavernier replacement in a couple of years' time. So I brought in Ryan Andrews, a 19-year-old right back. He has cost us £3.5 million from Watford, but looks like a perfect replacement. Great crossing, great first touch, decent speed, good determination and mental stats, extreme consistency, would be more than good enough for the Scottish League already, and is just 19. So in 2-3 seasons maybe, when Tavernier is finished, Ryan Andrews will be a great replacement. Other than that, we spent £1.5 million on Emir Onatiaka, who is a Turkish centre-back signed from Beerschot in Netherlands, and he looks really, really well-rounded at just 20 years of age. Max Ebong was my next signing, a Belarusian central defence midfielder signed from Astana, who looks fantastic and cost us just £500,000. He had a 7 average rating last year for Astana. Of course, he's used to playing massive matches in Europe with Astana, so is not going to struggle coming to Rangers, playing at Ibrox. Great mentally, great physically, decent defensively as well. 14 marking, 14 tackling, really good on our defensive midfielder, and consistent as well, and an absolute bargain. And then we move to 3 loan signings. Number 1 is Ronnie Edwards, coming in from Southampton, a top tier young English centre back. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to bring him in permanently in the future. I am hoping so. We've spent £1.5 million to have him for a season, and he's going to be absolutely brilliant. Emmanuel Dennis is my next, a loan signing from Nottingham Forest with a potential, well, a guaranteed future transfer of £5.4 million, I believe, £5.2 million. I've signed him because of his outrageous pace, his good mentals, and his good technicals. He's a little bit inconsistent, but in FM, as a striker, as an advanced forward, I imagine will be very, very good. And always remember, we are looking to go for records in this rebuild. Goal scoring, winning games, unbeaten runs. We're not messing about here. And we needed just one more striker signing as well. So Mustafa Cisse comes in from St. Gallen in Switzerland. And this guy is a bit of a hidden wonder kid, in my opinion. Great physicals, 16 determination, 6 foot tall, consistent, good finishing and composure, 20 years of age, a Guinean international. And I think he's going to be able to score a hell of a lot of goals. Now, he's actually an Atlanta player on loan at St. Gallen. Apologies for the mistake. But this guy, I think, is going to be brilliant. He is a loan signing, but we do have a... Oh, no, we don't. But if he does perform, his value is very, very small. Between 2.9 and 5.6 million pounds. And purposely, I left £5.5 million in my transfer budget. So if he does smash it this season, we can go and get him at the midboy stage if he's doing really well, and I can see that potentially happening. Now, when looking into the actual team we have built here, we have Dennis and Danilo up front, Bajrami and Hadji in cam, Raskin and Cifuentes coming back from his loan spell in DM, Tavernier, Yilmaz, Emir Otiaka, Edwards and Butland in goal. Backups, Kelly, Ryan Andrews, Leon King, John Suter, Jefte, Dujon Sterling is here at the club as well. Very well rounded he is. Maxi Bong, Mohamed Diamande, Tom Lawrence, Igamame and Cisse as the backups. Now this season, of course, we are competing with Celtic, a very strong side. Let's not mess around here. Nico Delafeu up front, Yang Hyung Jin, Kun, Tilo, McGregor, Engels, Ralston, Lagerbike, Aaron Trusty, Anderson and Bain in goal. I think that's a little bit rotated because Kasper Schmeichel, Carter Vickers, Days Maida, Rio Hatate, Kieran Tierney has joined the club as well. I mean, Celtic are a team which spend a lot of money. He was actually just a free agent contract. 3 other signings coming in as well, including Gerard Delafeu. They are going to be an issue throughout this rebuild. We're going to have to just try and peel away. We are heavy second favourites, nowhere near Celtic as the favourites. And in the starting 11 for Dream 11, we have just 2 players. Our 2 new signings, well, 1 new signing, Emir at centre-back and Cifuentes from the loan deal. Butland and Hadji coming very close as well, just off of the Media Dream 11, which is a bit of a shame. And the other thing is that Celtic are coming up on the Cinch Premiership record. They have 54 and Rangers have 55, so we need to attempt to break clear of them too. Now, if we are looking to break records like we are in this rebuild, that should be possible. Now, of course, this season we're in the Champions League, Scottish Cup, Viva Play Trophy and the Cinch Premiership, and I think it's time to just build a decent foundation for year 1. I'm not necessarily going for any records. If they happen, fantastic, but building a foundation, seeing how this tactic works and seeing how Rangers works is step number 1. Now, the closest we came this season to breaking that record of 13-0 is an 11-3 victory over Livingston. Probably just showing we have built a very good tactic off the bat. A brace for Danilo, a goal for Cisse, Ebong on the score sheet, Tavernier, Hadji, a brace for Bajrami, Yildiz, Leon King, Diamande, and a missed penalty from James Tavernier, which could have been 12. And I think this is actually going to be the hardest record to break in this whole rebuild. 13-0 is mental, and I don't want to match records either. I want to break them. So 14-0 is what we're looking for. And of course, we are looking to just beat Celtic every time we play them, which, lucky enough for us, is something we managed to do in every single game this year, with 3 emphatic 3-0 victories. Tavernier whipping it to Danilo for the 3rd game. 3 1-0s against Celtic. That puts us in very, very good stead to win this title. And it's something we instantly done, to be honest. I didn't expect it to be like this, season 1, winning the league. But honestly, the league in this rebuild isn't something that I'm interested in it, but I expect to win the league pretty quickly in this rebuild and then dominate in Scotland. Hence why we are doing a record-breaking rebuild. So when you do your recommendations, it can be a team like Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Manchester United, or a big team in a smaller country where they dominate and we've got to go break some crazy, crazy records. I can't think of any, like TNS potentially in Wales could be a good one. But overall, it's going to be the big teams we have to try and break the records of, and that's what we've done here with Rangers. 98 points, 31 wins, 5 draws and 2 losses. Just to put things into perspective, we would need an extra 5 points this season, 5 more wins because the record is 35, so we need 36 ideally, 5 draws and 2 losses. Stats-wise, 114 goals, which I believe comes very, very close, but not quite it. It is 118 we need to score to break the record. I've got a very nice little spreadsheet all made out on my phone to track how many we need. And goals conceded, 26. Now we need to concede more than half of that. But of course, we aren't looking to build our, defensive tactic just yet. Now, of course, the team performed very well. We did just win the league, which is fantastic. 25 goals coming from Danilo, 21 in just 24 coming from Mustafa Cisse. So he's joined the club. A permanent transfer is currently underway. £3.6 million, absolute bargain. This guy, I think, is going to be really, really good for us. I'm excited to see what he can do. Yanis Hadji grabbed 12 and 8. Tavernier, 31 goal contributions. It's exactly why we signed him. Emmanuel Dennis, 11 goals, 20 games. Not a great signing, I'll be honest. A loan deal would have been much better. I went for the mandatory fee as well because I thought he would get like 40 goals this year, but not quite the case. Tom Lawrence with 16 goal contributions. Leon King was a really good player as well. 30 starts, 15 off the bench, 10 goal contributions. Now, Leon King is someone really interesting because he can play in centre-back and he's really good at it. We're also great on the ball, which means he can play in DM or even in central midfield. He's got elite stamina and natural fitness. He's really quick as well for a centre-back, so maybe suits a DM role. He has got 2 caps for Scotland straight away this season and a goal as well, valued at £18 million. I think he's probably going to be more of a DM and it will make him into an absolute baller. I'm not 100% sure what position he plays in real life, but for us here, he's just played unbelievable in that DM position. Emir, the Turkish centre-back, a really good season, valued now at $15.5 million, a signing of just 1.5, 6 goals for him, 13 assists for Yildiz at left-back, Max Ebong for 500k, 11 goal contributions, a 7.06 is great, and Ryan Andrews doing the job we need him to do so far. Learn the Rangers system, but get used to playing at a stadium like Ibrox. 9 games, 8 off the bench, 4 assists, a 7.21. You, sir, are going a very, very long way. But overall, a very successful first season. No records broken, no grounds broken, but the lead at the top of Celtic has been cut straight away. Now, in terms of European football, we got knocked out in the 3rd round qualifying, so didn't actually play Champions League. We knocked out to Besiktas in a 5-3 loss, which means we dropped down to the Europa League, where we actually had a very, very successful league phase, finishing on 16 points and 5 wins. But sadly, drew up against tournament favourites Aston Villa, who have just had a ridiculous run in real life in the Champions League. We lost 7-3, an Ollie Watkins brace, a Morgan Rogers goal, and an Amadou Onana goal. But to be honest, I'm pretty happy. Rangers playing in Europa League, obviously, I believe, got knocked out in the quarterfinals in the night just gone as I'm recording this. We got to the round of 16 and faced up against Aston Villa, who are a fantastic side. Have just finished 9th this season in the Premier League and didn't actually win the Europa League, but were favourites at the start of it, I imagine. But are a very, very good side and a team that I would imagine by the end of this rebuild will be comparable with. I don't know if we're looking to win the Champions League. I'm not going to carry on the rebuild for that reason if we haven't run it. But I do think if we're breaking records in Scotland, like the records we have to break, there's a good chance we do very well. I mean, we've got to go 44 games unbeaten for a whole season. You can see how difficult that is because 5 games into the season, we'd lost 2, one against Besiktas, one against Dundee, then went on a ridiculous run until losing to Lazio, and then Villa, and then Dundee. So it's games like that where we aren't able to lose, and that's going to be really difficult because despite having a really good season in Scotland, it's the out of Scotland bits which are going to be so difficult for that record in particular. And even the in Scotland, winning 36 games out of 38 is going to be crazy. The goal scoring one, I think, will smash through pretty easy. We were only 4 away from 5 actually away from completing that in season 1. So possibly one we'll complete very quickly. But for now, it's another transfer window. We have £1.7 million spent. We spent a lot of money last year, so we'll have to see what we can do. Now, I didn't plan on spending a lot of money, but we raised £20.5 million, selling Jeff Day to West Ham, Robin Proper to Atletico Pamplona, and Ben Davies to Hull. Raising $20 million for them 3 alone enabled us to go for some pretty big signings. So number 1, we look to Brazilian wonder kid Loran to come in to Rangers. Something that I'm not sure has ever happened before. A Brazilian wonder kid not going to Real Madrid, Manchester United, Barcelona, but Rangers. And that's a new normal in this rebuild here, as we're going to be looking to poach some of the very best. Loran is someone which is highly rated on FM. £9 million is what he cost us. He's got the potential to reach whatever level he wants to go on to. And I don't know how long we're going to have him for. I imagine if he does do really well in seasons 1 and 2 here, he's going to want to move on to Spain and live a happy life as a Brazilian rather than rainy Glasgow Rangers. So we'll have to have him as much as we can. Maybe a bit more of a profit signing, but in terms of scoring goals, creating chances, it's going to be really good for this phase of the rebuild. Next up is the striker that I think is going to be able to take us to that level of goal scoring is Yannick Eduardo. I have used him in a video which isn't released yet on the channel. It's something we're working on for about 2 months. A series of videos. I've teased a homegrown glory hunter coming to the channel. It was meant to be in April. It might be the end of April. It might be the start of May. If you are interested in a homegrown only Glory Hunter, subscribe to the channel because it is going to be unbelievable. I signed this guy. He was unbelievable at one of the teams we signed him for. I've now brought him here to Rangers, £4.8 million. And you're going to see what I mean by a goal-scoring demon with Yannick Eduardo. Next up is the loan signing of Bilal El Khanous from Leicester to be a rotational cam. And then loan signing of Callum Doyle from Manchester City to be a rotational centre-back. Before finally moving on to the free agents, where we signed Chris Metham from Bournemouth on a free agent. Now he is normally at Sunderland in the start of rebuilds here on FM, but we have signed him on a free agent contract, and I'm a massive fan. We've done a Sunderland rebuild a couple of days ago on the channel, and he was amazing in the first season, and I know he's so good in FM. He's someone that, between me and my friendship group, is a meme centre-back where FM20, he was the go and get Chris Metham. He's unbelievable. When he signed for Bournemouth, first of all, he was my go-to guy. And I was always the guy with the knowledge of the young players, which performed very well. Chris Metham is that guy. I'm looking to take him back to the top. Before signing backup goalkeeper Svetlov Vutsov from Slavia Sofia, a Bulgarian goalkeeper in the Bulgarian starting team. And he's going to be a really good backup to Jack Butland and potentially take his place in a few seasons' time. So this is the starting side. Cisse stays in the team after being signed last season, next to Eduardo up front. Loran and Bejrami are the two new cams. Now, of course, we also have Yanis Hadji. He is going to rotate in a lot, but due to the current star rating of Loran, I'll be locking him in to this right attacking mid position, as I want him to get as much game time as possible and really become a star. After last season's DM performance, Ebong and Raskin stay together, Yildiz, Tavernier, King, and then Metham as the other centre-back, with Butland in goal. A very strong 4-2-2. Let's see if we can go back-to-back in the Scottish Premiership. We have closed the gap in terms of the media odds a lot to Celtic, which is great to see. And I think this season, if we win it again, we're going to officially overtake them as the biggest club in Scotland once again. Now, this season was just an absolute joke. Last season, we proved we were going to be the best team in Scotland throughout this rebuild. And in this season in particular, we proved that there was no coming back for Celtic and there was no helping the Scottish League. We were 2-0 up in 8 minutes in this game before conceding one and only goal against Hearts in this one, a third goal in the 10th minute to make it 2-1. But from there, we were just ridiculous. Danilo and Raskin linking up before a great ball to Loran, who brings it down and finds the back of the net to make it 3. And the most impressive thing of this whole entire game was that Yannick Eduardo didn't score a single goal. And I'll show you his goal scoring stats in just a minute, because he came so close to breaking these goal scoring record in just season number 2. Loran scoring another screamer there from the edge of the box before signing Dujon Sterling to find Bajrami in the middle for 5 against Hearts. It's the 48th minute. Chris Metham on the ball, spreads it out to the right. Tavernier in 63 minutes beats his man, finds Bajrami for 6-1. To put it into context, we need to score another 7 goals in 30 minutes to break the record, showing how difficult the 13-0 is going to be. That 7-1 and 8-1 comes as Tavernier down the right-hand side, gets it in the middle of the box, and Igmane was there to finish home. And that was that. An 8-1 performance against Hearts, an absolute demolition, but nowhere near the biggest win record. This is going to be very, very tough. And like I said, with Yannick Eduardo, didn't see him score a single goal there, but he just grabbed 49 goals in 56 games. Absolutely stupid. If you've never used this guy, go and use him. He's outrageous. He cost me just, like I said, £4.8 million. Now, of course, the record stands in league football. So 38 games, he played every single game and scored a goal a game, which is incredible. But not enough. We need 7 more goals to break the record of Yannick, Sam English, I think his name was. But Yannick Eduardo came very close and proved to me this season that he could be the striker that breaks the record. His pace is good, mental's good, technicals are good. Stats-wise, he performed outrageously well, but it wasn't quite enough. And yet again, despite a completely and utterly dominating season, not conceding a single goal throughout August and scoring 15, The unbeaten record was going to be very, very tough. We faced Napoli and lost to them before losing to Celtic, and then another month and a half spell before losing to Celtic and Barcelona back-to-back, well, another 2.5 month spell before losing to Borussia Dortmund and Liverpool in the same month, and then went nearly unbeaten all the way to the end of the season before losing to Hibernian. So no surprise, we did end up winning the Cinch Premiership this season on 102 points. We have matched the record Rangers have set, but not beat it. And we have to beat it. So 103 points is what we need to do. But a very, very good season nonetheless. Yannick Eduardo, of course, a goal a game for him is outrageous. Danilo with 18 goals is outrageous. And probably more outrageous is Celtic have just got 98 points and not won the league. Poor Celtic. I mean, you know what, screw them. In this rebuild, we are all about Rangers. But we do complete our first record of this rebuild challenge. It is the most goals in a single season. The record previously was 118, and that's been absolutely smashed. 127 is the new goals record in a single season from Rangers, and it took us just 2 seasons. Now, you are, of course, going to be able to get this rebuild file with all of these ridiculous records on the Patreon, which is linked down below. But I'm also going to send you every single tactic we use in this rebuild. Every goal-scoring tactic, every winning tactic, every unbeaten tactic, every defensive masterclass tactic. So you should have 4 tactics in this one video that you can download directly from the Patreon. It is £5 a month, but it helps support me more than you will ever know, potentially making this YouTube dream a reality of full-time one day. Your guys' support goes towards that massively, so you can help support, especially while FM isn't out. £5 a month, and you get loads of tactics, an amazing rebuild file as well. I know this team is just an absolute joke. Eduardo, crazy. Cisse didn't play many games this season. Fell off a little bit. Danilo started and scored 30 overall. Laran, 18, and was absolutely ridiculous and proved to be a great signing. He scored 13 goals and got 14 assists in his first full season here at Rangers, which is fantastic. He is instantly wanted by Aston Villa, a club which already been a thorn in our side in this video, but he will not be going there. Bajrami done very well. Raskin and Ebong, a great DM partnership, 7.17, 7.16. Yildiz, a 7.56, and Tavernier, while it says he's a 2-star player, I don't believe that at all. He's just grabbed 19 assists and 13 goals and is someone which is going to be very, very hard to replace. Ryan Andrews is going to have a good job of trying to fill them shoes, that's for sure. And Leon King, 44 games at centre-back this season, really progressed with 10 assists as well, which is outrageous. I don't know how he's got 10 assists from centre-back, but very, very impressed with him this year. We go on to the Champions League, though, and we show just how far off a club like Rangers is to competing on this. Just 6 points in the league phase, and we're instantly knocked out. I've also not really mentioned the Scottish Cup and Viaplay Cup in any of the seasons so far. I'm not going to mention them until probably the end of the rebuild, where we can go back and see how many trophies we actually won, because we are looking to dominate them every single year. So if I don't talk about them, I will go through a trophy record haul at the end of the rebuild. So don't be worried about how many trophies we've won on them. We'll go through at the end because we should be dominating them pretty easily, to be honest. Saying that, obviously we lost to Celtic in the Viaplay this season. So now the goal scoring record is done. We have to sort of work out what the next record is going to be that we go for. Now, for me, I think the obvious one to go for is most points in a season. We have just matched their record on 102. I think we need to get that extra point and go for that. And then from there, I think we almost need to turn our attention to the defensive side of the game. Obviously, currently, we are looking into a 4-2-2, very meta. I'm not sure. We might switch to a 4-2-3-1 and try and go attacking to get them wins. We also need to think about how we get a singular striker to score all of our goals. And maybe having 2 strikers isn't helping that. They've got to get 44. So maybe that's the route we go down as a 4-2-3-1. Still trying to go for the points tally. Obviously, the most meta formation on the game is between the 4-2-2 and the 4-2-3-1, in my opinion. And maybe that's something we have to switch to now. And that's why I think this rebuild is so interesting and so fun, because we have to constantly be thinking on our feet of where we're going to go in the save, what challenge we're going to look to complete. And of course, well, we've got to go do that now. A couple more big sales have enabled us to go really well in the market. So Bajrami leaves to join Marseille for £13 million. Jose Fuentes joins Angers SC for 7.5. And Liam Kelly, as a backup goalkeeper for us, leaves the club to join Cardiff for £4.7 million. Some of the worst business I have ever seen in my life. So we went big. We've signed Radu Dragusin from Spurs. I am looking to build a dynasty here at Rangers, and of course soon we'll be moving on to the defensive element of this rebuild. And a centre-back like Dragusin, well, that's exactly what we need. Unbelievable defensively, great physicals, 6'3", consistent, likes big matches, and is only 24, so we'll just get better as we go through this rebuild. He has hardly played a game in this whole save, so for £9.75 million, I think we've picked up an absolute bargain, because his value realistically is probably somewhere between this 19 to 25. Next up, it's a very similar story. It's Maximo Perrone, a defensive midfielder who likes to get forward. He's consistent, he's good in big matches, and has hardly played in this rebuild, despite being at Como where he played 17 games. Went back to City, didn't play for 2 seasons. He's now joined us here at Rangers for a bargain fee. Next up is young Brazilian left-back Gabriel Bussolino coming in from Malmo to back up Yildiz. Philip Billing also joins the club from Bournemouth. He feels like a very Rangers or Celtic-esque signing, someone who's done well across the English leagues. Eventually, towards the end of their career, comes to Scotland and is an absolute god. He's cost us $425,000, and being 6'5" and this physical and consistent, he really could be great. And finally, it's 2 free agent signings. Number 1 is David Brooks coming in from Bournemouth. And number 2 is Gurang Kuhl coming in from Newcastle United, another speed demon who can play up top. Now, I have made the decision to stick to the 4-2-2 for this season because we are going for the points tally season. Hopefully, this isn't going to come back to bite me. I think this formation is the most overpowered formation on the game, and is also good for spreading out goals and just a team being dominant. If someone like Yannick Eduardo doesn't go off on the score sheet, it's okay, because Kuhl can. If Laurent doesn't do great, it's okay, because there's 3 other players to go and do it for him. There's 2 strikers, there's 2 cams, there's lots of options for goals, as well as the attacking wing-backs. Tavernier, I think, has got 1 more season in him. Of course, high taken and penalty taken, which is why his assists and goals are so high, but physically, I think he is still fine. Yildiz at left-back is brilliant. Dragusin and King now as our 2 centre-backs. Butland in goal, Perrone and Raskin in DM, Laurent, Brooks, Eduardo, Kuhl still here. Of course, Hadji and Billing, backup cams, Danilo and Cisse, backup strikers, Ebog and Sterling, backup DMs, Bussolino and Andrews, backup wingbacks, Emir and Smurfy, backup centre-backs, and Vutsov as a backup goalkeeper. And we have had a lot of offers come in for Yildiz, and this time £27 million to Manchester United. I'm rejecting it. And the same for Southampton, £26 million for Danilo. I am rejecting it. Them 2 are key parts of this team. Something to quickly mention is the youth system. Nothing has come through whatsoever. Despite having 5-star youth recruitment and 5-star training facilities now, we've had absolutely nothing in terms of luck of getting a good youth team through. So we'll have to carry on going to the transfer market. Now, this season, the goal is 103 points. It's the big one. It's the record-breaking points tally season. Now, Yannick Eduardo has had another absolutely ridiculous season, but proving that this 4-2-2 will not be what it takes to win the most goals in a single season, as he scores 25 in 31 games. While it's great, we need just 1 scorer combining their goals together. And we also had our best run in the Champions League, getting to the round of 16 before sadly losing to Inter Milan. But a very good run, and something which I'm very, very happy with. Again, it's not a trophy we are going to use as a stipulation in this rebuild, but winning it and adding a second European trophy to Rangers history would be absolutely fantastic. But the league is what we are really after, and this season we were absolutely dominant. A complete win spree in August, drawing just 1 game in the Champions League, but unbeaten in the league in September, winning every single game up until the point we faced Celtic away from home and lost 4-2. Again, showing that unbeaten run is going to be very, very difficult, and is probably going to be, alongside the biggest win, the hardest part of this rebuild. Because even from there, while going completely unbeaten in November and throughout the 10 games in December, we faced Manchester City in the Champions League, and we can't be expected to face up a team like that and do very well, so of course we lost there too. But the league form was just absolutely outrageous. Throughout the second half of the season, we drew just one game at Celtic, away at Celtic Park, and other than that, won every single game. So we broke the points record with 105 points. 34 wins, so not quite doing that, but 3 draws and 1 loss. We have had the best season in Rangers history. That 1 loss to Celtic at the start of the season means we don't quite break the unbeaten record, and of course we don't get the wins in a season, as we need 36 out of 38 to complete this challenge. Now, the good thing that I'm seeing here is the goal scoring. Eduardo and Christopher Cisse together, 49 goals. We can merge them and build a formation with one striker scoring all of them. We're going to break the record. So we need to just adapt to do that next up. In terms of average ratings wide, Eduardo, Loran, Dujon Sterling and Cisse as the top 4. Player of the match is Yannick Eduardo. Clean sheets, Jack Butland, 21 is outrageous. Assist-wise, Loran and Yilmaz, both top in the charts, 13 and 12. And yellow cards, Manu signing Maximo Perrone, who, by the way, has just had a simply fantastic season. In terms of the goals we scored this season, of course, our previous record was 128. We've now got 125, but I'm not too fussed about that. We are now just going for the other records. Possession-wise, 63% of the ball is great, and conceded 23, which is really, really good. But we need 11 less than that to break the record. Now, I have got obviously the notes on my phone to keep a track of this. So most points is complete. Most wins, we needed 2 more in that season. Fewest defeats, we aren't there. Longest unbeaten run, 44 games is going to be very, very hard to do. Most goals in a season, probably my next one that I'm going for, and then we'll go on to the defensive side. Least goals in a season, player league goals in a season. Oh, sorry, most goals in a season completed. Player league goals in a season we need to complete, and biggest win at 13-0. I've got no idea how we do that. That might be the final point of this rebuild, is to go for the 13-0 and make an ultra attacking 5 up front tactic and just go for goals in the final season. We might try and aim for the other 7 and then go for that one. So this is now where we are going to transition away from this 4-2-2 tactic, which has done us so well. And of course, again, you'll be able to get on Patreon. We're going to now build a 4-2-3-1 and make a formation where all the goals should come from the one striker. And here is your new look Rangers side in a 4-2-3-1 system. We have a brand new central attack midfielder in Adriano Onyegbule coming in from Basel, a fantastic young German cam. Alan Minder comes in from Borussia Dortmund after signing for them for £2.4 million back in 2026 after smashing it at Cercle Bruges. We have now picked him up for just 100k more after having a loan spell in Ecuador and then not quite impressing back at Dortmund. I think this guy's stats are unbelievable, and I think he'll be brilliant in the Scottish division. We then move on to a brand new DM in Yannick Engelhardt coming in from Como on a £4.7 million transfer. I had a feeling he was a free agent, but not quite. But a very good DM. And one that I know is a free agent is Calvin Ramsey coming in from Liverpool, finally having a new right back. I think he's going to rotate with Ryan Edwards, but being a young Scottish right back, I just couldn't turn my nose up at him. And past that, we have our first youth academy player to come up into the first team and also make his Scottish debut. It's Neil Sibbald. This guy's mental stats are ridiculous. Aggression and bravery, we love to see that, but also teamwork and determination is something that is very highly sought after in a fairly determined personality centre-back. Good heading, marking and tackling, good physicals, 6'2", and is 18 years of age. So this guy could go on to be an absolute world-beater. But other than that, that is the team and this is the system. Eduardo up front as an advanced forward. Everyone else on shoot less often. Get the ball to Eduardo and let him score goals. Engelhardt and Perrone being DMs on support. Ramsey and Yildiz bombing down the lines and getting balls into the box, while everyone else just aims to get it to that striker. The tactics I never sort of make as a Patreon exclusive. They're just easy to download from there. You can copy it exactly from what I have just showed you. And they are always a clean slate tactic as well, if you are wondering of that. But that is the team going in for this. Now, the current season preview, we are finally the best team in the league. It has taken some time, but we've made Rangers the best team in the league. Yildiz, Sterling, Dragusin, Perone, Loran, Minder and Cisse go into being in the medium dream 11 as well. 4 Celtic players, but 7 Rangers. We're officially the bigger club, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, my goal this season and my next goal to complete is going to be that goal-scoring striker. We need a striker to score more than 44 goals in a season, and that's not going to be easy at all. So let's get straight in to season number 4 and see if we can turn either Cisse or Eduardo into that star man. And to be honest, exactly what I've said there, I think is our issue, because we couldn't choose out of Cisse or Eduardo who was going to be our 45 goal season striker. Yannick Eduardo had another crazy season, 24 goals in 29 games though, just isn't enough. While his technical backup, Mustafa Cisse, started 13 games and scored 15 goals. So though both of them rotating in that striker position, it just wasn't enough. They both were unbelievable, 35 and 31. Dragusin, 23 from corners, which is mental. Hadji with 49 goal contributions, which is crazy, but scoring too many goals. Same for Brooks, scoring 21, and Minder scoring 20. Onyegbuli scoring 16, Loran scoring 15. Normally, I love it. Normally, I love having a system where everyone is scoring loads of goals. But I have specifically built this system so that people do not shoot, and they give the ball to the striker. And that's not what happened this year. Now, I'm not going to say this season was an absolutely ridiculous. In the league, we got 105 points once again, but sadly, the exact same amount of wins and the exact same amount of losses, and we didn't even get the top goal scorer in the league. There was too much niceness, too much passing the ball. We need to be a team, a bit like, City with Haaland. Just get the ball to the striker, let him score the goals. Because currently that is what we're going for. And while doing it, we might break other records as well. Because wins-wise, 34 is fantastic. 1 loss as well. Sadly, a 2-1 to Celtic. We were so close. I bet that game was very tight as well. But not quite doing it. Then the other thing I want to check out is our schedule. In terms of our unbeaten runs, it's so difficult. We have just 3 games here. Celtic, Birmingham and Aberdeen going into the next season. I thought it was going to be a chance, but as you can see here, we got all the way to the Champions League semi-finals and then lost to Bayern Munich 2-1. So we didn't actually manage to break that record. And we also lost very early in the season here. I feel like I've just skimmed over a massive part of the season. We got to the semi-finals of the Champions League. That's absolutely mental. The team we've built is actually very, very good. We beat Inter Milan 4-3 in the quarterfinals. We beat Liverpool 9-6 on aggregate in the round of 16. In the league phase, we finished in 11th place as well. So we won in the knockout playoff round, facing up against Besiktas, beating them 6-1. And if we cast our mind back to just a couple of seasons ago, we lost to Besiktas in the Champions League qualifiers. So showing we have made so much progression as a club, but we've not done what we actually wanted to do. We need to end up with a striker that scores 45 goals, or we're never going to be able to complete this challenge and move on to the defensive side of things. And that's why this rebuild, I think this rebuild style that is a trial today, the first ever one we've done, is so fun. So I've replaced them instead. If neither of them can decide who's going to be the number 9, we're going to have to move on. Yannick Eduardo is an absolutely fantastic striker, unbelievable for 3 seasons, but I don't know if he's got a 45 goal season in him. And I've signed someone that I think does. I've signed the best Wonder Kid striker on FM about 12 months ago. Evan Ferguson. He has gone down in hype a lot in real life and on FM in recent months because he's not been performing. Now here on FM, it took him until 2026 really to solidify himself at Brighton, and last season played 30 games in the Premier League and only scored 4 goals, which doesn't scream a 45 goal striker. But this is Evan Ferguson. This is the best Wonder Kid striker on FM. In my opinion, he is one of the very best. He is consistent, he is quick, he's got good composure and concentration and unreal finishing. And he's here at Rangers. He's going to absolutely tear up the Scottish division. Now, I have kept hold of Mustafa Cisse, but I think my plan for the striker is I'm going to lock them into that striker position. That's the only way I think we actually get the goals. And it wasn't my only big signing, because I've also brought in Xiaomin Kelleher. Apologies, I've got no idea how to pronounce that. I think it could be Kiefer. No, that's Kiefer Moore. I don't know actually how you pronounce that, and I probably should have research that before starting this segment. But anyway, Kelleher is in to be the Rangers goalkeeper, coming in from Liverpool. He went on loan at Spurs, where he was unbelievable in the Premier League, conceded only 34 in 31. And then went back to Liverpool and didn't play for 3 years. Now, I think Kelleher is a really good goalkeeper, probably really good, almost like an Aaron Ramsdale kind of keeper. Better than getting relegated every season, as I think Ramsdale is, but mid-table, lower mid-table Premier League goalkeeper, I think Kelleher is great for that. He's consistent, he likes big matches, and for the Scottish League is going to be unbelievable. And I think we need this sort of goalkeeper for the future as well. He's only 29, so we've probably got 5 or 6 years left in him for our unbeaten records, for our conceding like no goals records, and for overall becoming the best team we can. I think a solid goalkeeper is going to be important. And finally, we have an absolute bargain signing of Antonio Nusa. He has cost just us £1.9 million after never really improving here on FM. Is that a £16 million loan fee? Oh, 16k. I was going to say, that's outrageous. But no, we've signed him for £1.9 million after never really progressing too much. I think it's going to be a great rotation option, which is exactly what he'll be to Loran and Minda. The camera of Onyegbule was great last season. Of course, Ferguson up front, Engelhardt and Peroni in DM, Ramsey, Dragusin, King, Yilmaz and Kelleher in goal. This season, I think, is going to be a very, very good one. We are, of course, going for as many records as we can, whether it's the unbeaten records, whether it's the games unbeaten record, the 44, or the 44 goal-scoring record. There's only a couple of players that are able to do that, and I really do think Evan Ferguson could be that guy. So let's see if he's got it for season 5. Well, we came pretty close to breaking the biggest win record with a 12-0 win over Glentoran and a 10-0 win against East Kilbride, but showing again that 13-0 is going to be very tough. But what we did now had was a goal-scoring menace of a striker in Evan Ferguson. He scored that goal in just 15 seconds and scored a bunch in this season, where he proved exactly why we signed that dangerous number 9. He grabbed 36 goals in 31 games, so did break the goals per game ratio we needed him to, but grabbed an injury this season. But I think we have got our guy. He scored 53 in 49 overall, but of course the record only stands for the Scottish division with 44 goals. But having this year where he scored 5 more goals than 31 games, if he carried the season on and played every single game without the injuries, he would have got 38 and 44. I have no doubt about it in my mind, and it's proved to be the striker we needed up front. He is very consistent, and that proved this season. So big up Evan Ferguson. What a fantastic season he has just had. I tell you what, this season was just absolutely unbelievable. We were the best team in Scotland by some distance, and proved once again why we should be in the Champions League. We were really, really good. We beat teams like Monaco, Fenerbahce, and we drew to Fiorentina, but then went and beat Real Madrid 4-2 before finally losing to Newcastle for the first time in this season in November. And the only other loss for us in this season was against Benfica in the round of 16. So we do eventually get knocked out in the round of 16 after drawing the other game 2-2. But obviously, that means we've just gone unbeaten in the Scottish Premiership, which is absolutely what we've done and is absolutely fantastic. It is our best points tally yet on 106 points. We've bottled the most wins. 4 draws is too much, especially against Dunfermline, Celtic and Dundee. Oh, the 34 wins is unbelievable. The 4 draws is an absolute killer. So we've done a massive challenge. We've done an invincible season, which is amazing. The 4-2-3-1 maybe is the most overpowered formation on the game. Who knows? I mean, maybe Evan Ferguson is the guy that really proves who is the most overpowered. Again, this tactic will be available on the Patreon down below. But what a season we've just had. 106 goals. And defensively, we still need to shore things up a little bit. 25 goals conceded. But goal scoring wise, a brand new record, 136, which is outrageous. We had 805 shots. Our data hub looks stupid. 3.58 goals scored, conceded just 0.66. And of course came so close in the goal scoring biggest win. But at least we've ticked off a big one in the unbeaten season, which means we are 3 out of 8 done in this rebuild. We need to complete the goal scoring challenge of 1 striker, and that's going to be the big one until we can really move on. But overall, an absolutely ridiculous season. I mean, 53 goals on a striker is great. And we are still seeing a lot of goals coming from other places as well. Loran, 25 assists, 19 goals. I mean, he has progressed into a fantastic player. No Brazil debut yet, and also not wanted, which is great for us. His value is up at £51 million. I think what we've done here, though, is just prove that you can really build a great team no matter what league you are in. We can just end up dominating in Scotland. We've dominated in Wales recently with in the mystery challenge with the dinosaur team. I can't remember what they were called. And in Ireland, we dominated with Bohemians. This time it's with Rangers, but these records make it so much more fun than just winning every single season. It actually gives us like a challenge to complete, which is really great. So again, if you do enjoy it, smash that like button and let me know the next team you want me to try this with. But this next season's goal is very simple. Get Evan Ferguson fit, playing 38 games in a season, and I'm sure he's going to get that all-important record. Now, of course, throughout this rebuild, we need to be having one eye on the future challenges as well. So I have strengthened the defence quite a lot this season, as the only thing we have left to do going forward is a 13-0 win, which is going to be impossible, and getting a striker to have a bunch of goals. So with a slight eye on our next challenge, we have gone for a centre-back heavy window, signing Filippo Mane from Borussia Dortmund for £4.4 million, and he's just absolutely brilliant. And the £18.25 million signing of Taylor Harwood-Bellis from Sheffield United. We also made the free agent deal of Lucas Klosterman coming in from Stuttgart, Eli Harrison coming in from Manchester United, Jack Harrison coming in from Leeds on a free, and two backup wing-backs also on the three with Gonzalo Montiel and Vitaly Mykolenko. And our final signing is the £5.1 million deal of Ruslan Litvinov, the Russian defensive midfielder signed from Spartak Moscow. Now, of course, this season is the big one, so try and get Evan Ferguson them 45 goals in one campaign. This is the current side. It is ridiculously strong for this division. I think we could potentially win a Champions League in the next couple of years, especially using a 4-2-3-1. As we move on, possibly not, but we shall see. I think we're going to have a good year this year, and I think Evan, he's got it in the locker. Now, something we've not managed to do yet is completely and utterly embarrass Celtic. Well, that's until today, because that's exactly what we've done. In 2 minutes, Yanis Hadji got the opener before a second coming just after half-time. Loran finding Evan Ferguson, got back to Loran, and then finds Ferguson again for a second in the 46th minute. And then a third comes as Engelhardt finds Hadji, back to Jack Harrison. Some lovely one-touch football for Klosterman, gets the line and finds Harrison in the box for 3-0. And a fourth is going to come as well. But the issue with this game is only one goal for Evan Ferguson. Let's just hope that's not what happened throughout this whole season. And if I'm totally honest, that game was a complete one-off because Evan Ferguson, well, he scored a lot of goals this season. One there against Rangers. We're then going to see a second in this game with that run into the back post, the Logerin cross from Mykolenko. The first one was a penalty, that one driven along the floor. And the third, as Loran whips the ball in, he rises high and scores another hat-trick. And I say another because this season he scored 58 goals in 60 games and got 45 goals in 37 games in the Scottish Premiership, officially becoming the record goal scorer in a single season in the Scottish Premiership for Rangers. It is the boy, Evan Ferguson. What an outrageous season he has just had, and what an outrageous season we have just had in the Scottish Premiership. 105 points once again, falling just short of that wins, which is fine because we can do the wins while going defensive. Evan Ferguson 45 goals, which is the record, which is unbelievable. Evan Ferguson a 7.7 average rating. Kelleher 13 clean sheets, 10 man of the matches for Ferguson, 7 for Jack Harrison, who was also fantastic this season. 30 assists from that winger position, 11 goals for him as well, a 7.19 average rating. Yildiz a 7.33, Dragusin a 7.31. The big thing was just all the goals for Ferguson. We wanted to make a tactic where every single goal was scored by the striker, and we've done a very, very good job at doing that. Evan Ferguson, you have officially written yourself in Rangers history. And once again, we had a pretty good running in the Champions League as well. We were one loss in the league phase against, who was it against? It was against Anderlecht at the, well, we'll go into that in just a minute, but finishing in 9th place, which means we do go to the knockout playoff round when we beat Inter Milan once again 5-2 before we go into the round of 16 and beating Liverpool 2-1 before facing up against Real Madrid and losing 4-0, sadly. One leg we lost it against, 4-0 against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. They're currently in the final against PSG, but sadly that was a big loss for us, and yeah, a bit of a shame to lose that. But based on the fact that we have just had that absolutely ridiculous season, we need to talk about this unbeaten record, because we won every single game in August. We won every single game apart from 2 draws to Liverpool and Besiktas in September. We drew 2 games in October, but won the rest of the games. We won every single game in November, won every single game in December, and lost on the 29th of January against Anderlecht. Now, this is a lot of games unbeaten, and of course, this record spans across 2 seasons. There is 13 games in 28-29 season. The question is, was there, 32 games in this first half of the season? Now, to check that, we need to head to the history and to the records, and I actually don't know if we got this record. So as I click on this, you guys are going to learn with me if we just went more than 44 games unbeaten and tick off 2 records in one season for the first time. It is down in sequences, matches without losing. Oh, that was a big one. 48. We have done that as well. So the goal scorer of Evan Ferguson, most league goals by playing a single season, and most matches without losing of 48 is done in the same season. So I need to once again just check on the records we have got left. So we have got obviously 13-0 win is something we need to do at some stage. But that is now most points complete. Most wins we need to do. Most fewest defeats complete. Is it complete? Did we go unbeaten last season? We did do unbeaten last season, didn't we? Longest unbeaten run complete. Most goals in the season complete. Least goals conceded in the season is not complete. And biggest win is incomplete. So we've got the wins, the fewest goals, and the biggest win left to complete. Which means we need to rip up the formation and the tactic once again. But my God, have we beat an absolute powerhouse. We have won the Viva Play in the Scottish Cup once again. We've got to the semi-finals and quarter-finals and back-to-back seasons in Europe. And we have won every single season for the past 6 seasons of being here. Season preview, we're officially almost like what Celtic are in real life now. The real powerhouse. And Rangers, well, we're back on top. What a club we have built here of Rangers, and what a bunch of records we have completed. But now's for a tough bit, because we have done this whole rebuild so far with an attacking-minded setup, trying to win games by big margins and trying to dominate. We now just need to switch. And I'm going to do this in a pretty difficult way, because I don't want to just use a defensive 4-2-3-1. I'm going to go like Inter Milan Italian style with a dirty 3-back and see if we can do the most wins in a season and the fewest goals conceded in a season with that tactic, and then at the very end go absolutely hell for leather for that 13-0. And well, here is our Italian-esque 5-3-2 formation. We're looking to be defensively solid and win a bunch of games by 1-0 is what we're going for. The classic Senatasio vibes. Now, you'll notice a pretty big signing up front in Vitor Roque. He is signed from Barcelona on a fee of just £9 million. And for a partner of Evan Ferguson, we have 2 of my favourite wonderkid strikers in just one team here at Rangers in Scotland, which is hilarious. Other than that, we signed brand new right wing back in Cody Drameh from Preston for £5 million to be a very solid defensive option, but also with the pace to get forward. Adam Ajayi was a young striker signed from Arsenal for £4 million, just a really good rotational. We then have 3 free fantastic options in Ashley Phillips as a backup, potentially starting centre-back, signed on a free. Yerson Mosquera, the exact same, signed from Wolves, I believe, on a free agent contract. And another unbelievable FM wonderkid in Naipan coming in from Inter Milan on a free agent contract. This guy's bounced around a bit. He went to Inter on loan at Sevilla and then has joined Rangers on a free after not playing for 2 seasons. Now comes in here to Scotland to try and create in that midfield. I say create, I mean, I want him to run. I want him to run hard as well. We've got a dirty 5-back. Ferguson and Vitor Roque, Perrone, Engelhardt, probably not Harwood Bellis, to be honest. It'll be King at the Yilmaz, Drame, Dragusin, Mane, and Harwood Bellis. Again, if you want to, kind of copy the tactic, you're more than welcome to. It is set to a positive mentality, and we are looking to very much get the ball forward, quick and long, and I'm trying to also low block them. I don't know how that's going to work. I will show you a full breakdown of this tactic once we've actually completed this part of the challenge, because I'm not very good at making tactics on this game. I'll be completely honest. I like making realistic tactics. Making meta tactics is not something that I do, and I'm not very good at it. So, yeah, I'm trying to make one that only concedes 1 goal every 3 games, or less than 1 goal every 3 games. The ultra defensive system. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be very, very difficult for me to do that. Now, of course, we need to concede just 13 goals. That's going to be hard. We are still the best team in the league by quite some distance. But also now moving to a 3-back. So we'll see how this goes, really. I am not hopeful we do it quickly. Well, not hopeful. I'm not hopeful. I hope we do, but I don't think we'll do this quickly. I think it will take some time to build an ultra defensive system. We'll have to see. We're also aiming for that 35-win season as well. So let's get into it and see what we can do with a 5-3-2. Now, of course, this season was going to be a very tough challenge. If we were going to concede just 12 goals all season, well, we had to have a ridiculous season. And in the first month, in August, we can't really be conceding 2 goals against Hibernian and Dundee. And we actually conceded another 2 in the next 2 games against Motherwell and St Mirren. I'm saying we conceding goals here. We're no longer talking about winning the game. That's a given at this point. It's conceding goals. We then went on a really, really good unbeaten run. But overall, this season, we did just concede just a few too many goals. But as mentioned, I did think this would take some time to perfect. There's a 3-2 game against Celtic in December, but also followed up by a 7-0 in Arbroath. So we did still have that goal-scoring threat. Which meant, of course, we were going to win the league once again. This season, 32 wins, 5 draws, and just the 1 loss, a 1-0 against Celtic. And had potentially our best defensive season yet, conceding just 21 goals all season. But we need to knock off 9 goals to break the record. I don't know if it's actually possible. A 12-goal season is going to be so hard. Possession-wise, really good, and goal-scoring-wise, still the best team scoring goals. I think, to be honest, that comes majority from the fact it's Evan Ferguson and Vitor Roque up front. I think the midfield is very, very strong, but aren't really... I mean, Engelhardt gets forward a bit more, but other than that, it's very defensive in there. We have got the wing-backs going forward. I'm not sure if I'm going to amend the tactic at all. I don't know if we just need maybe some better signings. I really don't know. I don't know how you make an ultra meta defensive system. We're going to have to just keep messing around until we find out how exactly you do it. This season, Champions League, we got round of 16 by Liverpool, losing 4-2, but won the Viva Play and Scottish Cup trophies once again, which is good. This season, goal scoring wise, we scored 34 with Vitor Roque, 30 with Evan Ferguson, 16 with Dragusin, 15 still from Mustafa Cisse, and 11 from Ashley Phillips. Mustafa Cisse has been a really cool player to sign, 3.6 million. Has been here for a bunch of seasons and a really good striker as well. So if you're looking for someone to come into your Scottish teams or Championship or lower Premier League, look at Mustafa Cisse. He is a really top tier player. Of course, Vitor Roque and Evan Ferguson, both absolutely fantastic. We know that. We know they're fantastic. But no records broken this season. It was very much a nothing season. We are looking to try and get, remember, the wins and the goals conceded ASAP, really. And then move on to that 13-0 win, which is going to be very, very tough. Let's just keep going. Let's keep trying to break this defensive record. Which means that I have made a tough choice when it comes to our goalkeeping position. I have decided to say goodbye to Kelleher to Barcelona for 8.25 million. And bring in Rome Jadon Owusu-Adoro, who is one of the best wonder kid goalkeepers in the game and is very broken with his stats, with aerial reach, command area, and jumping reach being very important. He has also got extreme consistency and has now played over 120 games over his career, but in the second tier mainly of the Bundesliga. But I think this guy is a much better goalkeeper than Kelleher, especially in terms of stats, and is going to come in and be our new number 1. I've also signed German defensive midfielder Anton Stash to give us a bit more defensive quality and mental strength in that DM role. And then 2 other signings, one a wonder kid, Frankie Borja from Atletico Nacional for just £1.6 million. I said I was going to go to South America and get you some more wonder kids. What is Mr. Borja? And number 2, the free agent signing of Isak Johansson from Dusseldorf, who is a fantastic young Icelandic DM/midfielder. Now, something I didn't show you last season, which I feel really bad about, is the sale of Loran. £12.5 million. He left to go and join Al Tawun, but he left us with 2 caps to the Brazilian team, which is absolutely fantastic. A Rangers legend up the Loran, but he's now off to Saudi and earning lots of money. So fair play to him. This is our team for the second attempt. I believe it's the second attempt with the 5-back system. Owusu Aduro in goal. Mane, Phillips and Dragusin is a very strong back 3. Drame and Yilmaz as the 2 wing backs. King in DM, Perone and Stash in midfield, Ferguson and Roque stretching that defence. Let's try and go for it. I believe, again, this has taken me a really long time to make. I believe I've only got 2 records left, which is the defensive records, and I've potentially got the wins record left, or have I done that already? No, I haven't. Oh God, we've got to go for the wins as well. Okay, we need 36. Oh my God, we need 36 wins in one season, and to only concede, I think it's 12 goals. Oh dear. Okay, let's go. Let's cook. Let's see if we can do it. All I've got to say for this season is wow. Wow, wow, wow. We have created an unbelievable defensive tactic. We won every single game in August. We then won every single game in September. And I say defensive, we're also winning games 6-0, beating Celtic 3-0 away from home, and then going into the month of October and putting 8 past Dundee. Now, up to that point in the Scottish Premiership, there was 4 goals conceded, which is a little bit too high. So we went on a ridiculous run of not conceding the whole November and didn't concede until we got into December, conceded just 1 goal against Kilmarnock. So halfway through the season, 6 goals conceded. We are on track to break the record. We go into January and we win both games 3-0 against Dundee and Falkirk. In February, a 4-0, a 2-0, followed up by a 2-1, a 2-0 win, and then a 6-1, followed up by a 0-0 draw. So that's now 8 goals conceded. We then head to Hearts and concede again in a 6-1 win. We beat Motherwell 1-0, then head to Kilmarnock and concede again. And there's 10 goals conceded with 6 games left. And this is where we went Italian. Every single game in the month of May was a 1-0 victory. So not only have we only conceded 10 goals all season and completed the fewest goals conceded in a season record, we've also won 36 games and drew just 2 all season. A 102 goal difference, 112 goals scored, 10 conceded, 110 points, and Owusu Aduro has got 28 clean sheets. We only conceded 1 goal in 10 different games, which is, I said to you a few seasons ago, if we're going to do this challenge, we can't concede 2 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals in a single game. We have to be clever defensively. Once we're 8-0 up, don't concede. And that is what we've done this season. And we have broken 2 of the biggest records, the one with over 35 wins and the goals conceded. I mean, that is just absolutely ridiculous. Goal scoring wise, in this, 5-3-2 system, your goal scorers are your strikers. 42 for Vitor Roque, 31 for Evan Ferguson. Cisse off the bench grabbed 25, and then from midfield, Perone grabbed 10, Naipan grabbed 9, 12 assists from Yildiz, 18 from Leon King, who, by the way, now has 307 games for Rangers, which is absolutely fantastic. So he is our club captain, a Scottish centre-back/DM, absolute legend now, which is fantastic to see. Assist-wise from Drame and Mikalenko as well. But I mean, we've completed 2 of the most difficult challenges possible, winning 36 games out of 38 and only conceding 10. That's Mourinho Chelsea levels, which is fantastic. We won the Scottish Cup and Move Play yet again. And in the Champions League, I'm actually not 100% sure what we've done. We won in the round of 16. We got knocked out in the quarterfinals. Yes, to Real Madrid 5-1, who are now in the final against Barcelona after winning it the season before as well. So now we go on to our final test season number 9, and our final test is to win a game more than 13-0. Yes, 13-0. We need to win 14-0. It's time to make a stupidly attacking tactic and hope we win a game 14-0. So first of all, we have built an utterly ridiculous 4-2-3-1, which is on the very attacking mentality. And we also have a couple of brand new signings. A 33-year-old goal-scoring machine in Matheus Cunha joins the club on a free contract in Cam. Amara Diouf joins from Celtic, actually not from Celtic, from RB Leipzig, but was on loan at Celtic last season for £20 million. And this guy, well, I knew he didn't like Celtic. I knew he was there. He didn't enjoy it. He whispered in my ear down the tunnel, bring me to Rangers. And he's one of the best wonder kids on the game. He plays for Generation Foot in Senegal. When you start up FM, make sure you go and try this guy out. He is literally free with 200k when you start out, and he is ridiculously good. And the other signing was a free agent signing of Juarim Hazrel, who is consistent and likes big matches as a backup winger. I have basically gone to the 4-2-3-1 formation we had. I rated the inside forwards on attack rather than on support, removed shoot less often, and the attack midfielder moved into attack as well. Very attacking now in terms of our style of play. Much higher tempo, more direct. Honestly, as I said, tactics-wise, I very rarely play about too much and make the most meta or try and get the most goals. So in my head, send everyone forward and go and score lots of goals. That would be fun to do that's for sure, especially if this somehow worked. We are 8 for 8 in terms of titles, which is good. Just going to touch on the Scottish Cup now, we might as well. We've only dropped 2 to Celtic and Aberdeen, and in the Viaplay Cup we've dropped 3, 2 to Celtic and 1 to Aberdeen. So Celtic have won 3 trophies in 8 years. That is a massive win, considering how dominant they've been in real life. So up the Rangers, let's go in, and I guess now it's simulate seasons until we somehow win a game more than 13-0. Well, it's safe to say we've had an absolutely mental season while sending everyone forward to score some goals with 105 points and our 9th title in a row. We won the Scottish Cup once again and the Viaplay Cup to make it a Scottish treble. But the question is, did we win a game more than 13-0? Well, there were some pretty big victories. A couple of 7-1s, some 6-3s, some 6-2s, some 6-0s in there. But there was a team which were by far the worst in the league this season. And it was Ross County, managed by poor little Steve Cooper. And just 2 games after beating them 6-0 away from home, we played them at home. And yeah, you're going to see what's going to happen. And you're going to see what's going to happen in the first half of a game of football. I've got simply no idea how this happens in the match engine. We've come close a couple of times in this rebuild of 11-2s with 12-0s, which are absolutely ridiculous. But it looks like Steve Cooper's side in this first half just absolutely forgot how to play football. It is currently, after this goal, 4-0 in 13 minutes. We are going to grab a 5th in 14 and a half minutes. So quite literally 90 seconds later, as Yildiz gets on the left-hand side, finds Vitor Roque in the middle. I mean, it's just not fair, is it? Vitor Roque just flying through and scoring goals. I mean, there's a 6th in this game, another for Vitor Roque in the 20th minute. It's mental. This all actually happened in the first half as well. Naipan played through Vitor Roque to grab yet another one. That is goal number 7, I think. I believe this is 8, as Diouf finds Phillips to find Roque. Once again, this guy's a joke. Vitor Roque finds Yildiz, who drives to the left-hand side to find Diouf, who, guess what, whips it in. And Naipan is there for goal number 9, I believe. We now have goal number 10 as Stach finds Dragusin. Dragusin finds Naipan, and the ball falls to Vitor Roque to grab a 10th goal, an assist from Matheus Cunha there, which is pretty cool as well. Naipan finds Filippo Mane. Yildiz drives into the box and smacks it. You can see just how attacking we were in this game for 11-0. So we were 3 goals away and we're only 40 minutes in. Rudvan down the left-hand side cuts it back and Diouf was there for 12-0. It is now the 44th minute as Roman stashes the ball. Finds Naipan, finds Cunha, who whips it in, and Vitor Roque was there for 13-0, matching the record. And on the last kick of the first half, Ashley Phillips heads home for 14-0. And Vitor Roque with 8 in a game completes the challenge, which means if we head to Rangers, we head to the history and the records. We now have most matches without losing. We have the most league appearances, the most goals by a player in a single season, which is Evan Ferguson. And we actually just got most goals in a league match, which is Vitor Roque, which is another record. I'll take it. Most points of the season. We have most league wins in a season. We have the biggest win, which is 14-0. We have the fewest matches without losing in a single season, which is, of course, the fewest defeats, which is that. We have the most league goals scored by a single player. We have all 8. We've got all 8 records, plus the one of most goals in a league match, which is Vitor Roque with 8. And that was incredible. What a rebuild. I think Rangers, it's safe to say, have royally and truly become a dynasty. We have won 9 seasons out of 9. We have won the Viaplay Trophy 6 times. We've won the Scottish Cup 7 times. And Rangers are the biggest club in Scotland once again. And we have broken 9, a bonus one, fantastic records in the meantime. If you guys do want to try out this save for yourself, just look out for 9 records or take out the 8 records at the start of the video and try and do that with a couple yourself. Let me know some teams you want me to do this in the future. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you next time.